So when it comes to this box office weekend, it is the tale of two clowns. One of them is the sequel to a billion-dollar film that had a $200 million production budget plus a massive marketing budget, where the star was paid $20 million, the director was paid $20 million, the co-star was paid $12 million. Its lead character is probably the most popular comic book villain on the planet. And the other one is the story of a side character in a short film that came out 20 years ago that they went, hey, maybe there's something here. They made a second short film for, scraps and the change in a couch. And eventually they make a movie in 2016 that cost $35,000 to make it. $35,000 with borrowed equipment. And it gets some buzz and people talking. And the second one comes out and had a budget of like $250,000. And through just word of mouth, ends up making $10 million. Two different clowns this weekend. One of them has a budget of $200 million, production budget. The other one has a production budget of $2 million. 200 million versus 2 million. One of these movies was made for 1% of the budget of the other. It was made for 10% of what the lead actor of the other was paid. And wildly different results at the box office, where Joker, the movie with all the resources, movie star, high-profile director, think back in 2016, Terrifier is made for $35,000. Same year, 2016, Suicide Squad comes out, and nobody knows who those characters are, but because they marketed it as having the Joker in it, it still made like $800 million. The movie, with this enormous amount of resources, popularity, name brand recognition, absolutely crumbles at the box office. Last week, it debuted, and its domestic numbers, US and Canada, was less than half of what the first movie did opening weekend. Went from $96 million to $40 million. That in and of itself was a devastating drop. This weekend, it dropped 81%. I believe this is the biggest drop, second weekend drop ever for a comic book movie. Worse than Morbius, worse than Marvel's, worse than whatever other one you're thinking of, even bigger. And this is coming off of an already devastating first weekend. And then a catastrophic implosion to where in its second weekend, it ends up in fourth place behind Beetlejuice in its sixth week. Crushing numbers. And the flip side to it, Terrifier 3, a movie that was made and marketed, both made production budget and marketing budget of under $5 million. The last movie only made $10, $11 million, which that was a massive profitable win for that film. This is a film without a actual marketing budget. There weren't trailers everywhere, based purely on word of mouth. It opened at what looks to be $19 million. Production budget, $2 million. And it made 9 times that in 3 days, based purely on word of mouth. To me, this is one of the most exciting, interesting underdog stories of the last 20 years in film. Legitimately, Art the Clown started as a side character in a short film made almost 20 years ago. And they went, maybe there's something to this character. They made a second short film that was just about art. They went, I like this, make a movie out of this. Literally $35,000. This movie has made over 500 times the budget of the first movie. And it's been entirely by word of mouth, entirely grassroots organic growth. None of it is manufactured. None of it is coming from outside money, outside forces. It's just people talking about it, getting excited. Can you sit through the movie? Can you make it without fainting, barfing, looking away, whatever? That has grown this franchise. True indie cinema. And on the other side, you have Joker 2. A movie that had all the resources, all the marketing, all the trailers, press tour, whatever they wanted, they had access to it. But where Terrifier 3 delivered the movie that people wanted, whether you loved it or hated, it delivered the shocking experience that they promised. That people were like, can you make it through it? Like all of that stuff. Building off the second movie, let's keep pushing boundaries further and further. It delivered what the audience was looking for. So much so that it got a B cinema score, which horror movies almost always get low cinema score. So a B is always very good for a horror movie. But one like this, it's unrated. Like Terrifier 3 does not have a rating. It's also the highest opening ever for an unrated movie. That has shocking imagery that it's intended to see. Can you make it through the movie? Getting a B, an intentionally provocative, intense film, getting a B is really impressive. It delivered what the fans wanted. And then you have Joker 2. Movie with all the resources, brand recognition, famous actor, famous director, world famous singer. But they put out a movie that nobody wanted. A few people do like it. Few people defending it. They love the bold swings. Gotcha. And I respect the bold swing to an extent. But they put out a musical as a follow-up to Joker. They put out a courtroom drama as a follow-up to their Scorsese clone. They didn't give the audience what they wanted. And they almost felt like antagonistic towards the audience. And what do you see in the box office? Catastrophic losses. Implosion. The whole thing collapsed in on itself. The other side, Terrifier, they keep doing fresh new things. They keep telling bigger, bolder stories, changing up the formula, changing up the vibe just a little bit, but always delivering the experience that the audience expects from a Terrifier film. And what do you see? Massive growth in the size of the audience, the box office performance, all of it, the excitement, everything is growing with Art the Clown. Everything collapsed with Joker. One of them was trying to make a movie that was actually expanding their franchise, but also delivering what fans want. The other, I don't know, it just felt like middle fingers to the fans. Like, what on earth were you thinking with any of this? Who greenlit this? Who thought that $200 million was a wise investment for a courtroom musical as a sequel to a Scorsese clone? That's just shockingly bad decisions, but you just look at this weekend. It is a fascinating look at the tale of two clowns. And that's fun to talk about. It's interesting because the fact that we have two clown movies, both of them interesting box office stories in opposite directions, opposite scale and size of budgets, market, all of it. The contrast is incredible. And it's just fun to talk about. Most of these clips are pulled from my Patreon live streams. I do about 6 live streams every single month. For $2 per month, $20 per year, you can get access to all the exclusive videos and live streams. For $5 per month, you get your name on my end card. At the top tier, you get a 30-minute video chat with me each month. The link down below in the description has more information.